Tom, I was reading the internet as
Hey.
one does.
Just the reading thing.
Yeah. Turns out Jared Goff, undefeated when throwing 10 interceptions a game. Undefeated. Only quarterback to ever do it.
I know you said that on Monday, and I was like, that don't sound right.
Yeah. Patrick Mahomes never won a game after taking
Lunchtime.
a poop
Oh.
right before the game.
Oh, okay. Where'd you get that stat from?
He hasn't pooped in a year and a half, actually. So
Wow.
it's not
Year
good
and a
for
half is a long time.
But I read it on the internet, so it's true. We're going to look at a stat that duped us all. We're getting to the bottom of it. Okay? Some BS about Jared Goff's interceptions. Really made me mad last night.
This tweet that came out last night, and it's funny because it made its way into my chat on Sunday night. This stat about Jared Goff. And talking about how he was.
We talked about it Monday, right? Yes.
Yeah, we talked about Monday too. So like someone mentioned in the chat, I think it was a super chat. They mentioned that he's undefeated. He was like 6-0 after throwing 4+ interceptions. I was like, what? I was like, first of all, I didn't know he threw that many interceptions in the game. And second of all, that seems like an insane stat. And someone in the chat was like, no, I'm pretty sure he lost against the Bears back in like 22 or something like that. And it turns out, you got to pull it up? You want me to pull it up?
Yeah, I'll pull it up. I was making this stupid.
Oh, I got it then. So it turns out
it's fake.
Yeah, it's fake. And so we actually talked about it on GPS on Monday because it came up, and I was like, I think someone from the chat picked up.
Yeah, you're like it.
But
the stat went out that what's it? 7th career game with at least 4 interceptions.
Yes.
Okay, so we all saw this. We're like, holy crap! Like Goff figures out a way to do it.
Yep.
We talked about it, and you're like, it might actually not be 6-0. He lost there. I put it in, I think, winners and losers, which went up yesterday. And was like, he was like 6-0 or 5-1. Like, I don't really give a shit. Like, this is pretty crazy.
True.
And then it goes on to McAfee.
It goes on to McAfee. So
they tell Rodgers about it.
Yep.
The amazing stat, though, is this a true stat that he's done 4 more picks 7 times and he's won every single one of those games? Is that real?
Yep, 7-0.
That's wild. I mean, that's why stats are for.
So it turns out this was made up. He says, if you ever wonder how easy it is to spread fake information, I made this stat up while laying in bed at halftime of the game. And it's insane how quickly this spread. Yes. And then to get on McAfee, like on ESPN.
Yeah.
And it was a made up tweet. So I think just real quick an aside, after having a history conversation with a fellow history teacher in Mr. Terry last night, this is just a word to all. That's why we got to check our sources. There you go.
Yeah. And I'm happy it got on. Hey, can you go back? Can you go to Civ's fucking Twitter page?
Yeah, I got you.
This is what pisses me off, Tom. Okay, so click on him or his tweet. Actually, go to his tweet. His interesting, and then scroll down a little bit. Let's see here. Scroll down more because he responded there. Boom. For those saying this is fake, he posted this Jared Goff thing from StatMuse, which he made up. Like, if you go to StatMuse, that's not there.
Yeah.
Right?
It's Photoshop, yeah.
Can't be there. So this fuck is like, oh, what did I do? I was just, making it up from bed for fun. Fuck you. You doubled down on it, and now you're pretending like it got out of hand and you didn't want it to. All right? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. As somebody who will tweet a fake thing from time to time, everybody knows it's fake.
It's true.
Like, if I make up something, it's a joke. There's always like 6 people who don't realize it's a joke, and then they get the joke over your head fucking gif or whatever. But like, I would rather see disinformation about our government than fake football stats, Tom. That's how much it makes me mad.
They're like, don't take this from me. Which is why, Brandon, as educated citizens, we got to do our part and make sure that we fact check.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's not a super easy thing to fact check, right? You've got to go in. You got to go to Pro Football Reference, Then you've got to sift Jared Goff. You got to go to like, you can't just look at career interceptions. You got to get the game log of game interceptions. So it takes a couple steps for you to actually check that. And the fact that it got from there to McAfee show without anybody being like, let me see if this is true is pretty insane.
Yeah.
And all the dudes on McAfee were like, oh God, sorry, this is our bad. This is on us. Which is fair. And I'm happy it got there because when I saw that last night, like I was mad. I was mad at myself for saying it in a video. Like if I'm going to get something wrong, I want it to be on purpose, or I want it to be something that I feel like, oh, that's an easy mistake to make.
Sure.
This one got me. We just assumed it was true because it was out there. And that guy, like, he was in the football world. He did a lot of Madden stuff.
Just Madden stuff, right?
It came out like it just comes out of left field, and you're like, who's going to sit down and just make that up? And then not be at some point be like, guys, I was kidding about. Like once it starts to pick up a ton of steam, no, you just let it keep going. Like, look at, I got the fake stat. I got them all believing my BS. Anyway, double check, triple check. And I'm not going to double check. That's the other problem, Mom. When you're trying to disseminate so much information, some of it you got to be like, okay, there's a stat. That's pretty good. Going to put it in the episode. No, I'm not going to go in and look at every single Jared Goff fucking game to see if it's true, Tom. I'm just not going to do it. I don't have the time. I looked at it. You looked at it. Barks looked at it. Will Keys looked at it. All of us looked at it, and it still made it in the episode. I hate myself.
I didn't look at it.
We talked about it. You and I talked about it on Monday.
And I was like, I don't think that's right. Someone in the chat, pull up the clip.
You didn't go, yeah, you said it might be like 6-1. You didn't go, I think it's completely made up.
I think it was right.
Like, it just, we don't have time to process that.
Well, I just love in the same breath. You're like, double check, triple check, but I'm not going to. Literally.
There's so many things I'm not going to double check. Because, like, once you see it, and once you see, if maybe we had just seen that guy tweet it, fine. It's like, let me double check it. But that's not what happens.
Sure.
It gets tweeted out by a bunch of other people.
It's a great lesson, though.
You look at Twitter for, we're like, oh, that's a good stat. I want to use that for something to talk about.
It's a great.
Probably didn't see it at a credible stat thing, but like it happened enough. It becomes true.
Their coach, quarterback, and defense. That's why they're a little bit different. I don't think they're gonna. And plus, their division's a bit easier.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good lesson. We're all human beings, right? We're all gonna make mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking about that person just obviously making up some BS. I'm talking about we're just gonna make mistakes, but we just try to do better. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all.
My actual takeaway from that, after I looked through all of Jared Goff's GD game logs, very efficient. Does not throw a lot of interceptions. One Jared Goff.
No.
Like trying to find games where he had 4 interceptions. There's not many of them. There's not many of them. But yeah, I got got. We all got got.
Got goffed.
We got goffed.
We got goffed. And so did the Texans. So
yeah. What's really funny too is like Aaron Rodgers knew something was up. He's like, is that real? He's like an NFL quarterback. He knows like you throw 4 picks, you are not winning all of those games. But the fact that he was the guy who they were talking to and got the fake stat up, like it's very funny. But yeah, and I don't know whether I should respect this troll job or if I should just despise it the way my entire being despises it.
So it was funny, my reaction to it last night, because I saw it late last night, like after we did the stream and everything like that. It was probably around like 10 o'clock. And I was just scrolling through Twitter and I saw it, and at first, like when it made it on McAfee and he's like, this is how easy misinformation is spread, I was like, you know what? Like, kudos if that's the lesson. But then Pat responded saying, oh no. And this person was like, Pat, you should follow me back. I'm going to have some breaking news on site. And I was like, okay, nope, now we're done. Now
you did it to be a troll. It blew up. And then you tried to play the nice guy.
Yeah, now we can't do
that. Double down on it. Be like, you know what? Ben Roethlisberger won 9 games while fumbling 3 times. Like just,
that might be a stat.
Either be Barry or don't. Don't be this in between shapeshifter fuck. Sorry.